And the other thing about that,
you know what else was hot?
Hey, good morning, almost afternoon. Welcome, Stokastic.com. Early live before lock, 7-game action today. You know, they've wisely added on DraftKings the 2 12 o'clock games as well, which is good. Needed that. So now we get a 7-game slate. Middle of the week, little 7-game action, then 8 games tonight. In 6 p.m. games are included. Don't make the mistakes that I've made in the past. Time to dive into it. What's going on, brother?
I would have preferred to not have the 12 o'clock games. I would have preferred 5-game slate and a better chance of getting Angels Mariners lineups. Because I don't know what we're going to get out of those 3 o'clock games by the time we get to lock. And I don't like that because I have an overwhelming supply of the 3 o'clock games, in particular, the Angels against Luis Castillo. So I would have I'm really hoping we get that lineup.
How about the A's yesterday? We talked about that at length.
I don't want to talk about baseball yesterday.
We talked about the A's being the sneaky stack, and they had what, like 17 home runs?
That's all they do is just hit dongs, and
they're one of
only on days when I don't have them.
They're one of the most power-laden teams in the league. They really are. Like, they're straight boomer bust. It's crazy. And then I fell asleep. Logan Gilbert, I wake up, I was like, fuck, the Angels put up 5 runs in the 5th. This can't be good. But only one of them was earned. He ended up having a really great game.
Yeah. You know who didn't have a good game? Anybody that played for the Braves, Reds, or Chris Sale. I rolled the dice.
You know who else on the Braves is not very good? Well, he's in the farm system. Francisco Vicioso.
Is that real? Is that real?
I looked it up. I
too
didn't
much.
believe it. Here's the thing. It actually seemed impossible, right?
Yes.
It actually seemed that it wasn't possible. Jordan, I'm sending this to you so you can put it on the screen for anyone that's unfamiliar with what we're talking about. Jason, who's with us at Stokastic, had actually posted this in one of our channels. And that was the first thing I asked him. I said, is that real? There's a pitcher named Francisco Vicioso. I assume that's how you pronounce it. If not, we're close enough.
It won't matter. We're never going to have to know it.
No. In the Brave system, who has thrown 3 innings of professional baseball. Brace yourselves for this. In those 3 innings, this is real. He has recorded 28 walks, 35 wild pitches, 4 hit by pitch, 20 earned runs, and 3 fielding errors in 3 opportunities. Dude, 35 wild pitches and 28 walks in 3 innings. 20 earned runs.
I don't understand it. I can't wrap my head. I don't understand. Like, how is he there? Did he win a raffle?
I don't know how he's there. I don't know how he gets left in.
Well, I understand how he gets left in. I want to know what the score was every time he came in.
I still don't understand how he gets left in.
Like, is he coming in a leverage situation? Like, up 4-3, and then all of a sudden it's 16-4?
How long are those innings?
An hour at least?
Maybe longer?
Dude, it's 28 walks in 3 innings, right? I mean, he's throwing like complete games and pitches.
He has more than 9 walks an inning is his average, over like 9 1/3 walks.
I'd fucking hit him with a bat. What do his teammates think?
I thought the same thing. If you're the catcher, I might just not go out there. I might be like, listen, I don't feel good.
At first, I thought it was just like a position player that's just got battered but it doesn't appear to be the case. I don't understand why he plays.
Right.
Like, is he a coach's kid? Is he the coach's kid?
Can you think about this just for 1 second? That averages to 12 wild pitches per inning.
Yeah.
12 wild pitches.
It's 9 walks an inning.
I know.
That's weirder than that one.
And 7 runs.
That's at least 36 balls per inning. I don't understand. I don't understand. Do you imagine, you're on suicide watch if you strike out.
Yeah, he has 5 Ks. So 5 of his 9 outs are strikeouts.
Well, yeah, you're not going up there thinking you're swinging. You're praying it doesn't hit you. You can't
How does
ever
he-
go up there thinking I'm sitting fastball. Hope this is in the zone here.
Jason said the craziest thing about him is that he has only 4 hit by pitches and 35 wild pitches. But to me, it's almost not that crazy because if you go into the batter's box, you're only thinking don't get hit.
That's
your only thought. Don't get hit. We have to talk baseball, and well, we are, but we'll do it right now. What's his velocity?
Not 100 apparently.
It's nuts.
Dude, his strike zone is like the size of a fucking shipping container. Or not strike zone, but like pitch zone.
Yeah.
What, like, I wish that he had StatCast. Can
97
you imagine where all
is
those circles would be?
There's one that oh my God. It would look like a shooting range. Actually, no.
It would look like a donut, dude. It would just be this giant hole in the middle where the strike zone is and this giant ring of bullshit.
Yeah.
None of it makes sense.
Well, you wouldn't. The truth is, you wouldn't see most of the pitches. Like if you're
right. What's his name?
Francisco Vicioso, Vicioso, I think.
I'm pulling up his Fangraphs page.
You might just load it and it says no.
Did you do this yet? Don't pull anything up right now. Don't. Okay.
All right.
He pitched last year as well. So here are his stats. Okay, so these are his aggregate stats from last year and this year. Please do not be looking at this. I'm going to read his stat line from last year. Are you ready?
Go ahead.
I don't fucking know. This can't be right. Okay, he pitched in 3 games. 2 of those games he started. Okay? 3 appearances, 2 starts. I'm going to ask you now to guess how many innings pitched last year.
So 2 starts, 3 appearances.
2 starts, 1 appearance.
Sorry, yeah, I meant that on 3 outings. So it has to be something insane.
Maybe
5 innings.
Yeah, good try. He recorded 1 out.
No. Wait, on 2 starts and
0.1 innings. So he recorded 1 out.
That's not possible.
It gets weirder. The out is a strikeout, by the way. All of the out is a strikeout.
That can't be real.
He faced 17 batters. Okay. 11 of them walked. 4 of them got hit by a pitch. 1 of them was a strikeout. 16 of the 17 batters were either walked, they got hit, or they struck out.
So his batting average against is probably a career 0. Like he doesn't give up any hits.
It's 0 in that year. His whip is 33.
So
he's got
hold
a
on. Are you
6% K rate, 65% walk rate.
Are you telling me that Francisco Vicioso is unhittable?
Allegedly, yes. 17 wild pitches. That's 1 for every batter he faced.
He got
14 runs.
He's unhittable.
Hey, only 13 of those 14 runs were earned, however.
I wouldn't step to the plate. I don't think I'd even.
You know what that means? The only ball that got put into play somehow resulted in an error. So not only is he a fuck up, but like even when the ball got hit, his team fucked up.
Ooh. To be that guy that struck out.
1 out. And then this year it's 2 2/3, 27 batters faced, 17 walks, 18 wild pitches, 5 Ks this year. So whatever we thought his aggregate of 3 innings is, last year as recording 1 out across 2 starts.
Let's get into this slate because we don't have.
Are we going to find out? So he's allegedly 19. Are we going to find out he's 11?
I'm going to do some digging and figure out how this fella slipped through the cracks. Anyway, Hey guys, hit that
dude?
thumbs up. Hold on, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. Appreciate you. And I know you want just wait, dude. With Slate locks in like 40 minutes.
Who cares?
All right, one more. What are you gonna say? And then we'll go.
What were his fantasy scores in those starts?
That's what I was. You're talking like minus 30s.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
His xFIP this year is 130, or last year was 133.
You can't stack against him.
No, he's only going to he's going to walk 9 guys and then get taken out.
Everyone's just going to have 4 fantasy points.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the slate.
Appreciate you guys. I had to fill you guys. For anyone who hadn't seen it, it doesn't seem physically possible. So we had to get into it. Anyway, let's get into pitching, hitting. We should be able to navigate through this pretty quickly. If you guys have any questions, hit us up in the chat, and yeah, we'll get into it. Aiden, we are talking baseball. All right. So first things first. Luis Castillo, highest owned pitcher on the slate. The first thing you told me coming into the show is that you have a healthy amount of Angels bats against Luis Castillo. Maybe that changes when the lineup comes out, but that's how it is right now.
I'm going to have the Angels no matter what. And they're the worst stack on today's slate.
What's getting you to them? Just the fact that they're going to be entirely unowned?
Their lack of ownership and Castillo's ownership. I still have 42% Castillo, so I'm at least with the field. But in my non-Castillo lineups, I'm stacking the Angels.
It's Rengifo did return yesterday, by the way, and had a nice game. But Logan Gilbert got a bit tuned up. It didn't matter because all but one of those 5 runs was unearned. He had a great start. The start before that, Bryce Miller had a really good start.
Yeah.
So, so far, now it's time for Luis Castillo to snap that trend and just be terrible. By the way, Luis Castillo has not been the same Luis Castillo of old this year.
Well, I really need him to be more like that Braves pitcher today.
For real, though, he has a 23% K rate. That's not like him.
It's very, very light. I mean, his K per 9 is down 1.5. His strikeout rate itself is down 4%. He's just become a little bit less of a strikeout guy.
He's still clearly a good pitcher today.
100%. He's the best. He's the best pitching option on the slate. I want to be very clear here.
He is. Yeah.
He is he's my most exposed pitcher, and I'm stacking against him.
It is so funny to me how much baseball has changed in the past year or so, just because of how bad the Rockies have become. What I mean by that is that not only do you just play pitchers against them elsewhere, but a lot of these, like DraftKings still prices pitching down at Coors against the Rockies as if they're good, right?
Yeah.
And that's why every time you get a decent pitcher coming into Coors Field, they're getting ownership, and rightfully so, because yes, it's Coors, but the Rockies are so dreadful, particularly against righties, that when DraftKings comes in and takes a guy like Pivetta, who last start, Nick Pivetta was 8,800 in LA against the Dodgers. Before that, he was 9,600 against Oakland. He's 8,300. There's no reason Nick Pivetta should be $500 more expensive against the Dodgers in LA than he should be in Coors Field.
Nope. And I have 30% of him. I am happy to get to him. Like, other than the fact that runs play up a little bit in Colorado, this is a fantastic spot for Nick Pivetta. He's 25% owned. I'm happy to get to him. And I have a little bit more than the field. I don't care whatsoever that he's in Colorado. That means nothing to me, because for every bit of that park improving or like making it worse for Pivetta, just simply facing the Rockies fixes that problem.
Anthony said that Vicioso's ERA in the Dominican Summer League was 60.
Yeah.
I don't know how he got here. It's crazy. All right. So really if you were to break it down by just ownership right now, there are 6 pitchers getting single digit ownership, right?
Yeah. And I don't think that we really need to talk about any of them.
Let me just make sure there's nobody that might be of some interest to me.
The most I have of any of those guys is 8% of Joe Ross. So, and he's 8% owned. Like Alan Winans is getting a little bit more love. I'm good there. He stinks. It's really that from Nola, Brown, Castillo, Steele, Pivetta, and Montas. I mean, here's what's really weird. Nola, Brown, Steele, Pivetta, and Canning are all essentially 20 to 25% owned. They're all the same. You get Castillo breaking free from the pack as the top guy, and then you have Montas getting a little bit more love than some of the other guys. But we just have this giant pack of 20% owned dudes.
Yeah, Alan Winans is a tough one because he's only thrown 5 innings. I believe he got blown up that first outing, but you know what's he project for strikeout rate? Probably like 19% or something, 18%.
Yep. 19 to 20 across the board for all the projection models. He's been at like 22 in AAA, so that feels about right.
He's 7,700.
He was the number 24 prospect on Fangraphs coming in for the Braves. He has a 30 graded fastball.
That's not good.
No. He's got a changeup. I mean, if you're a lefty, he'd be a decent reliever.
I think he's still viable. I'll tell you why. The Reds have a 3.8 run implied total today. So
has that moved? Because I have a much higher total.
Maybe. Hold on. Maybe. Well, no. Maybe I just looked at it at the wrong time. Let me see. What do you have?
I have 4.3. The line on the game is 8.5 right now.
Then the one I was looking at's clearly wrong because we had
4.4 in the top stacks tool.
I'm not sure where I definitely got it earlier today, but it might have just been wrong. Minus 125 Braves at home. Even so, 4.3 is not even that high. I think he's probably appropriately owned right now around 10% at 77.
I agree. I have his implied odds at 8. So
Griffin Canning is the interesting one.
I have a ton.
He's been dreadful.
Yeah.
But Cincinnati has the highest K rate in the league versus righties. And that's always got to be good for something. It doesn't mean that everyone's automatic to go out and toss a gem against them. But man, on this show specifically, we've had a lot of success just targeting them with even sometimes subpar righties. Griffin Canning's biggest struggles clearly against left-handed bats. I think there's probably, including switch hitters, going to be like 6 of them today in that lineup.
Yeah. No Julio Rodriguez.
Yeah, right.
I mean, the bottom 4 guys in the Mariners lineup that I have right now project with a 293, 295, 294, and 280 WOBA, 30, 27, 29, and 33% K rates. It's just bad hitters and lots of strikeouts. The only person that doesn't strike out at less than an average rate is Josh Rojas in the leadoff spot. Everybody else projects above that, above average.
Canning, as bad as he's been, he's still too cheap for this spot. In a great
5,700 on a 7-gamer. Given what this Seattle team is, he's dramatically underpriced. And he's my second most exposed pitcher.
I'm not really sure that there's anyone even comparable to him at a cheap price point.
I mean, I have him 7 fantasy points ahead of Cal Quantrill, who's the next closest salary guy to him.
Right. And then Martin Perez.
Yeah. I have Griffin Canning projected like Frankie Montas.
Really?
Yeah.
And Montas is.
We have Montas 3 points ahead of Canning. We only have Canning at 11.5. I have him at 15.5.
Why is Montas 8K?
Canning's strikeout prop is 5.5 with some juice to the under. I have him projected at 5.2, so I think that I'm spot on the number.
I'm honestly surprised Montas is getting almost 15%.
I think that's about where it should be.
You think so?
Yeah. But Griffin Canning 7+ Ks is plus 230.
That is, dude, 7 7+ Ks on Bryce Miller the other day was plus 330 when we talked about it.
Yeah.
Bryce
And,
Miller. Hold
dude,
on.
if Griffin Canning strikes out 7 dudes at 5,700 today, he's going to have to give up a lot of home runs otherwise.
Yeah. I also think Seattle's very much in play here.
I have 8% of them, so I'm right at the field. I have everything in this game. I have both pitchers about 40% of the time. The Angels are my most exposed stack, and Seattle is my like 4th most exposed team. I just need something to happen in this game positively, one way or the other. So it's going to end up being 4-3, and I'm going to hate it. And all of those runs are going to happen in the first 5 innings.
Hunter Brown's finally priced up. You know, there was a time where we were just getting him at 7K.
I assume we were going to open it up and he was just going to have some stupid price tag today against Oakland. Luckily, he's 9,400. Yep.
I'm looking at this 7,100 against, or no, hold on, ready? 6,500 against Seattle, dominated. 7,000 against Minnesota, 7,100 against the Angels, dominated. 7,200 against Detroit, dominated. 7K against the White Sox, dominated. And then 8K against Colorado, also dominated. Crushed Toronto at 8,500. And then the moment his price tag, and actually, no, he's had one bad start over. Seriously, he has had one bad start since May.
Yeah.
Middle of May. He's been so good.
I'm 20% today. He actually grades out better for me than he does for us, but I didn't get more. I think Castillo is just blocking him out.
Hunter Brown's been one of the best pitchers in baseball since his first like handful of starts. He's been one of the best.
He's been great.
He's had some really forgiving matchups. There's no doubt about that. Like this guy's had some great matchups. This isn't a tough matchup from a strikeout standpoint, though. Only the Mariners strike out more against righties than Oakland. So he is up there in price, but I think you could argue it's actually pretty warranted with the upside that he's shown.
I agree. I want to touch on something quickly. We mentioned Joe Ross before pulling a little bit of ownership. Joe Ross does not appear to be the guy that's going for the Brewers anymore. It looks like the long guy is going to be Jacob Junis.
Oh, Junis. Forgot about him.
As you should. So just want to put that out there. That's going to change things up a little bit. Last time he pitched was 4 days ago. He went 2 innings. So we had Joe Ross as like a functional option. We now have Jacob Junis, who is not rosterable at all.
Junis has made 1 start. I think it was the first of the year. Aside from that, everything's been out of the bullpen.
Yeah, he's going to throw, I don't know, 3 to 4 innings and be completely uninteresting.
Yeah, you can't do that.
And he's 7,300 too. So basically he locks into the exact same price tier. He is full stop unplayable. Do not click that name.
We had a super chat. Appreciate you, Sean. Oh, Sean Geezy, what's up, brother? The legend.
Why are you asking us?
I know, right? By the way, did that ring get to you? I sure hope it did. I sent him out like a week ago. Let me know. I hope it did. Hey guys, am I crazy getting the JP Sears at 1% ownership? It's just a brutal strikeout spot is the only thing for Sears, but what do you make of that?
I don't have him. The matchup is just terrible. I don't know what you're squeezing out there.
I would say what you're squeezing out is just that you have guys like Griffin Canning, who's actually not good, that's getting ownership at a cheap price.
Fair.
It seems like there's a lot of guys getting ownership that aren't actually good. Like Montas has been pedestrian at best. Like, even though he's been fine from a run limitation standpoint, he pitches in a tough park. He's not what's Montas' strikeout rate? It's just probably like 19% or something. It's not high. There's no way. It's gotta be low. And he's an 8K guy.
Montas is at 18.8.
I just keep the run. I keep running.
Well, technically that's 19, so you didn't nail it.
What?
18.8. That's 19.
That's what I said.
You said 18.
I said 19.
I don't think that's true.
I think I did.
I don't think so.
Sears is at 17.6%. Yeah, we do have him positively leveraged. That's all it comes down to sometimes. It's like if you're getting some of him, because Sean, I know you're going to have 150 lineups. Like it's not the same as playing JP Sears in a single entry contest. Like,
Yeah,
what
I
does it
just
take to get over
that
the
whole
field?
the Winans to Quantrill range, I just don't want it.
I'll say this much though. Usually the Sims is more than willing to give you like low owned guys and give you a good amount of exposure to them. You know, when they're positively leveraged, and we see that a lot on some of these like a little bit more abbreviated slates. Like perfect example yesterday was Criswell, who had a great start. Cooper Criswell we got a lot of him in the Sims. He had a great start, wasn't popular. I'm only getting 4% exposure to JP Sears.
I had one lineup before this. I'm like a minute and a half from just having to start and take whatever's here and deal with the lineup changes later, which is going to be very annoying. We're missing 5 lineups right now.
Trey said Houston hasn't been great. No, you're right. It's just they really have such a low K rate that it's tough for a guy with 17% strikeout rate.
Yeah, it's a team that doesn't strike out against a guy that doesn't get them.
Jake said, what's up, Jake? That Houston's the highest owned stack. Yeah, again, like I think there's arguments to be made in favor of it. It's just I guess this would be my question, Josh. Like, what's the upside on a guy like Sears, even if Houston doesn't come through as a stack? That's my, like, yes, they're high owned, but is Sears the answer to get away from a high owned Houston, or is it just getting to a lower owned stack?
I'd rather just not play Houston.
Right. Sears is going for a career game today.
Surely.
Look, but yes, just because Houston's popular, and they're not like 50, it's not a 30% on stack.
No. I mean, the best stack is Boston, and it's not close.
What'd you say?
The best stack is Boston, and that is not close.
Yeah, no Tyler O'Neill, someone just said in chat. Yeah, that's right. No Tyler O'Neill.
That's fine. That's fine.
God, Devers is expensive, but he looks good in that lefty-righty matchup, man.
Yeah.
So who are your top pitching options today? Then we talked about most of them, but anybody else?
Castillo is in. It's Castillo. At least as of my previous run, it was Castillo, and then I was just around like 20% for the rest of those guys: Nola, Brown, Steele, Pavetta, and then Canning was my second guy. So my most popular combination is Castillo Canning.
Any Vicioso?
No, I don't think I'm going to get to him. I don't have any Dominican Summer League teams.
They might have to lower minimum salary if he was.
You roster him, dude. They should give you an extra $3,000.
Do you know how sick it would be? Like if he just inexplicably started rising through the ranks and like made his MLB debut.
And then did it again.
Yeah. Be awesome.
Ridiculous.
But you're right. I think like the lowest I'm willing to, outside of Griffin Canning, the only spot I'd be willing to entertain is Alan Winans, just because it is a good strikeout spot. Cincinnati K's a ton against righties, and Winans it's not like he has no strikeout stuff at all. It's just not great. So that's like the lowest I'm willing to go there.
I'm more of a Mario Winans fan, so.
Who's that?
He was like an R&B act in the 2000s, aligned with Diddy, I believe.
I don't like R&B at all.
Yeah, I do. I love that baby making music.
Not surprised.
It's great stuff, man.
It's not. But that's okay.
Really, it's the best stuff. My favorite music is R&B music.
Oh, God, and you're driving me to New York in August. We better not be listening to that shit.
No way, dude. Straight religious radio on Sirius.
Let's go. All right, get into some bats here. Also, guys, for those of you that are in Pennsylvania, we're here.
Yeah, do that read.
Bet365 has finally arrived. I've truthfully been waiting for this for over a year. It was supposed to be here last year. So if you're in PA, that link in the description or in chat's getting you $150 in bonus bets. Sign up, deposit 10, only bet 5 of that. $150 in bonus bets, plus 50 free casinos or 50 casino spins. So 50 casino spins plus 150 in bonus bets. You're locked in as soon as that $5 bet settles. Bet it on whatever you want. That's a beautiful, beautiful offer. I took advantage of it on Monday. And why would you not? Best way to do it with any of these is just get all of the promotional money and sign up offers that you can on every book. So like ESPN was different. They wouldn't let me because, you know, there's a million different reasons for that. Or Fanatics. Fanatics emailed me saying like, hey, essentially don't bother betting here because they came over from PointsBet. Not going to give you Bet365, uncharted territory for PA. But also, if you're in Kentucky, Ohio, New Jersey, Virginia, Iowa, Colorado, Louisiana, Indiana, Arizona, or North Carolina, those other 10 states, Bet365 is there as well. I just hit Pennsylvania up first because that's where I live and it's live. But all of those other states, grab those bonuses, link in the description and in the chat. Very solid. Talking bats here, you mentioned Boston being the top stack. Even without Tyler O'Neill, it's still a good spot. They have a 6.5 run implied total. How much Boston are you getting to though?
So I'll probably be right around neutral. It's right where I was on my previous run. I'm assuming I end up in a comparable area when all this is done. I'm starting my run right now, and I'm a little nervous that I don't get it done.
Still got a little bit of time.
Yeah. We'll see. Fingers crossed.
Oh, by the way, must be 21 years or older to gamble. If you were someone who has a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Thanks, Jordan. Forgot about that. I'm looking at just top stack odds in the top stack tool over at Stochastic. Boston, there's nobody in double digits other than Boston. They're at 23%. Right. No one else is in double digits. Houston against Oakland against Sears is 9.9%. It's funny because I don't love Boston there. I don't love Sears either. We have them overowned too. Most negatively leveraged team on the slate is the Houston Astros. I don't love them.
No.
I never had an issue with Colorado because they usually have positive leverage and it is still Coors Field. I think we both like Nick Pivetta. Yeah. Colorado's fine.
Agreed. I would rather have Pivetta than Colorado, but
yeah,
it's always fine to get to Colorado.
I mean, we saw Colorado against Tanner Houck and that Boston bullpen the other day, 9 total runs, like 14 hits or something. Here's a team, and I know you're running these, but I did want to ask you about a team that you get to often, especially when they're low owned. What's your deal with the Philadelphia Phillies today going up against this left-handed Steven Oker?
So I didn't really have all that much. I was basically right around the field. I think they're like properly owned.
And he's the
middle
opener,
of the pack,
by the way, right?
David. I think David Festa is the long.
Is it Festa? Okay, so a righty.
They're fine. I don't mind getting there at all. Run total looks okay. I think they're just like a completely middle of the pack team. If I got them, great. The fact that there's no ownership on the pitching side on the opposite end probably limits them a little bit. You don't get that same sort of negative correlation. But I don't have any problem. If somebody's like, I like the Phillies today, I don't have any problem with that. I liked them a lot yesterday. That didn't get me anywhere. Every time I looked up, it was still nothing. I don't know if anybody scored. They might still be playing.
Yeah, Phillies are an odd team. Oh, they won.
Hate 'em.
Nice.
What was the final?
3-0.
Oh, okay. Yeah, when were those runs scored?
In the 9th.
There you go. Every time I looked up, dude, it was nothing.
Yep. Yeah.
It was a great time.
It was in the 9th. It was
Fantastic.
Brandon Marsh, sac fly, Castellano, 2-run double. So wouldn't have helped you anyway. I mean, there's just nothing to be had there.
No, I needed the Giants last night. Woke up to them having no runs as well.
Like you said, your teams that you're playing right now are just scoring.
Everybody sucks. I love day games though. Like I'm really excited to just go downstairs, sit on the couch, watch some baseball. Last year was my most fun sweat ever during baseball. I shipped an early slate and I was in first for like 2.5 hours.
And never left.
I kept scoring and I didn't say anything. I was sitting there watching it with my dad. I didn't want to, like, I couldn't introduce to him like what sweating 50K is. He wouldn't have been able to process it. Like, he just wouldn't have understood. So I just like sat there like gritting my teeth watching the games for like hours.
Yeah,
And
white
then when it was over, I
knuckling.
showed him my phone and he was like, "Oh, that's good." I was like, "Dad, that's $50,000, man. What are we like? What kind of reaction is this?"
He just didn't give a shit.
Dude, it could have said I won $5 or 50 grand, and neither of those responses would have changed for him.
Yeah,
He had no way to process that. But if he won like $100 on a scratcher, he'd be like, text me for it.
oh yeah. Hey, that's fun stuff, son.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Congrats, bud. Great.
Yeah.
Good job, bud.
Yeah. Yeah, nice job, sport. And then he's just like, yeah, just walks into the kitchen.
Yeah.
I don't love Oakland against you. Like yesterday was against Bloss or whatever. Like that's a way different spot than Hunter Brown, who's been really good. Nola, I've said many times, I'm just not a big Aaron Nola fan, but I still not a fan of stacking against him. He's still good.
On the road though, 10K.
I know. Justin Steele's very good. You've got Milwaukee going up against him. I mean, what about the Cubs against this Jake Junis spot?
It's a good question. I didn't really have them before this. I don't get the sense I'm going to get them now with it being Junis on the other side either. They're really cheap. They're not hard to get to. They're relatively easy to stack. They don't have a ton of MPEs. The masturbator in the 9-hole is the only guy that has it. They're okay. I mean, clearly it's a better matchup now against Junis, but that's a very low run total in that game.
Very low. And then like Pittsburgh against Liberatore.
Again, like they're a lot like Philly to me. They're just this team in the middle that's fine.
Not a great park either.
Now, Park really kills power. Although the run total in this game is massive. Is it like 95 degrees in Pittsburgh today?
Let me check. Because Liberatore is
84.
Liberatore is one of those guys that's like not a huge extreme fly ball guy. Doesn't give up, never gave up a lot of power.
No.
Like you said, it's just kind of one of those spots that exist. I'm trying to look like, do we have other teams? You know, truthfully, the Cincy spot against Winans isn't that bad.
No, not at all.
I
I
kind
don't
of
have
like
any real respect for Winans.
they're getting some ownership. St. Louis against Perez, man, they're popular today.
I mean, they've got an oddly large implied total for this game and for this park.
What's their total at?
I had it at 5.1. Is that accurate? We had 4.7 last run, so I might be a little high.
Good
I
amount
don't
of
know,
power.
around 5.
Perez has allowed a lot of power this year. He's not been good at all.
No, he has not.
Who are your 3 top stacks right now?
Prior to this rerun, it was the Angels, the Red Sox, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know who the third team was. I don't have any of those percentages up any longer.
Okay.
We have 8.5 minutes until lock. This is gonna get real tight.
Yeah, I'm trying to get these in as well. I'm doing one last run here. See how it works out for me. Presumably not good.
You would think.
We'll be okay.
You would think.
I just want to know, like, am I going to be all Boston or is it just going to be spread out?
I mean, today I think they're actually under-owned.
We have them positively leveraged.
Yeah, I think they're pretty dramatically under-owned. I'm way higher on them. I have their upside, like I have their top stack odds quite a bit higher than we do, which is crazy. The only downside to Boston is that they go outfield, outfield, outfield.
And we already have their top stack odds high. What do you have it?
29.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you have them being the top stack almost a third of the time on this slate.
Yeah. I mean, their run total is a run higher than everybody, at least a run higher than everybody else if you include Colorado, and like a run and a half above everybody else.
I know, 6.5. The next closest, according to the top stacks tool, is Colorado at 5.1,
Yeah.
Houston at 5.
Yeah, they're just like they're on a completely different plane. And Cal Quantrill sucks. Like every bit of this looks amazing for Boston.
Sean, thanks for the super chat again, brother. Can you guys touch on this Nacho guy? I know nothing about him. Oh, there you go, Josh. This is all you.
Yeah, like as if I know anything about him. I don't know. Second, third eligibility, and he's flat 2K.
I just thought, just thought with this being your team,
No, I got nothing. I don't know anything about him at all.
Nacho.
It does not project well via steamer, and does not project to have any power, but flat 2K hitting second with an MPE is going to be incredibly easy to get to.
So I was just gonna say this guy in God, 6, 7, like 800 minor league appearances has 15 home runs.
Yeah, he's the number 5 prospect for the Braves coming in, but he doesn't project well.
Although I will say this year he has hit for some more power.
He's been a completely different hitter this year.
Yeah, this year he's hit for some power. He's minimum salary.
Yeah, it's the minimum salary piece is the piece that matters the most here.
Yeah. Pretty much all that matters at this point.
Pretty much.
Man, they've just been decimated by injuries. And he's batting second.
Yeah.
That's
it's
just
good.
The way what's that?
It's good. He looks like a really good option today, no matter what we think of him.
Sean's basically saying I can't tell if this is like a 15% play or a 50% play.
Hard to say.
I'd probably just personally would play whatever I get of him because at 2K batting second, I just have zero issue whatsoever. Like put it this way, if I look at my lineups and I'm almost done now. It's running, and I'm just loaded.
I'm gonna die here.
If I'm just loaded up on him, I don't think I'd make any adjustments for a 2K guy, minimum salary batting second, Josh. It's kind of the way I see it.
I'm with you. Well, I don't know what I'm going to get now because I'm not going to be able to run my entire normal process. At least I don't think that I'm going to be able to, but whatever. No big deal. It'll be tight for the real process.
Marvin said Sean Bellman yesterday was really hyping him up, calling him the best play on the slate until the game got postponed.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he's flat 2K changes everything.
Exactly. And seriously, though, you think about it, he's not just 2K, he's batting second.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how much that even matters.
He's just an exceptional play, no matter what he projects at.
Right. Pretty much. Oh, man, I have some ugly pitching in here.
Do you really?
Oh, yeah.
Ugly?
Like far more Martin Perez than I ever would have wanted.
There you go. That seems like a really good thing to do today.
How's that for ugly? Yeah, just
what could go wrong?
A lot of Boston, a lot of Martin Perez.
That seems like a really good time. Are you having some doubts?
I mean, not truthfully.
Are you about to try to justify this for yourself? This should be fun.
I tend to trust the tools, man. Every time there's guys that just scare the shit out of me, they end up, being in the optimal lineup when I run the Sims. So I'm okay with it. Am I comfortable with it? No, but I think a lot of times it's good not to be comfortable with that stuff. If you're comfortable with lineups, you look at all your lineups and you're comfortable with them. I don't think that's really a good thing. I mean,
I'm with you.
You could attest to that. Every day you're getting stacks and that you would never in a million years hand build.
No, I would never be getting to the Angels today on purpose.
Right. If you were hand building, there's zero chance that you're getting to that spot. So
absolutely zero.
Plus, it's a good park for pitching. Yeah. But no, I'm not excited. I wouldn't sit here and recommend like a personal endorsement on Martin Perez. Of course not.
No.
But,
no.
But here we are.
Oh, I have the Braves now.
Do you?
Including our boy Ignacio Alvarez, aka Nacho. I'm 92. My second most exposed stack is the Angels right now. I have 2 minutes and change, so I'm not going to get done my full process, but I have what I need.
I'm just uploading these now.
Yeah, I'm uploading mine as well.
And every time I just wait I hope that there's not that error message where like I screwed
Yep.
something up.
All right, 50 lineups in. Let's just hope that the guys that I'm playing are playing today. Have we gotten any lineups since then? Nope, we haven't. So nothing I could have changed.
I have a lot
Most
of
exposed stacks are Braves, Angels, Red Sox.
Oh, you know what? By the way, I'm looking at this. I have 13% Perez, which isn't crazy. It's just the highest simmed lineups. We're all showing a lot. So he's at the top of those lineups, but I don't have an excessive amount of him. So that's actually not bad.
I have 0 of him.
I ended up getting.
Here's my pitching: 50% Luis Castillo, 30 to 35 on Nola and Pivetta, 25 on Hunter Brown and Justin Steele. So just everybody at the top in different combos. 18% of Canning, 10% of Frankie Montas.
Okay. All right. My highest exposed pitcher is actually Nick Pivetta.
I mean, I like it. He's second for me, so we're not all that different. I have a ton of Alvarez today. If we're talking hitting, when Sean was asking whether he's like an all or nothing guy, I have 40%. So all sounds, yeah. I mean, as a hitter, you're hoping for a little over 18 fantasy points today.
I have 52%.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's going to end up like aggressively owned too, and that's probably going to be the problem, but I'll take my chances.
He will be. There's never a hitter that's a must play, but you're just getting him so cheap. It opens things up. What's going to happen is he's just going to be wildly popular in Boston stacks as well.
By the way, we lock in 15 seconds. So if you don't have your lineups in, get him in.
I'm in. Yeah. I think probably that's one of the reasons why my pitching looks a little bit weird, because I'm looking at all these Boston stacks with Nacho Alvarez, and there's got to be some way to get different in those spots.
Well, we are locked, so
bam, bam. That
was a quick hour.
Yeah, appreciate you guys hanging out as always. Remember, you ever want to check out all the tools that we talk about, we not only reference on the show, but use every day. Sean Geezy in chat, just taking down thousands every day using these tools. There's no better endorsement than Sean.
No.
For real. Or Aaron Costa, who just seemingly, 20 to 50K every week. They're all down there. You guys want to check them out. You can do it for a week as well. Check it out for a week. If you love it, then you love it. If you don't, it's okay. I think you will, though. I think these tools are going to make a massive difference for you. If you ever have any questions too, hit us up. We got a ton of tutorials if you're looking for them. And see you back here tonight. Live Before Lock probably starts at like 5:30 or 5:40 or something, because it's a bit of an earlier start. I'm going to go do some digging into Francisco Vicioso and see how this man keeps weaseling his way out onto the mountain. Until next time, appreciate you guys. Elway's Army. There's another one. There's another guy that's winning 10,000 every week with the Sims.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Follow Josh at Josh Engleman. I'm at Lafayette_D. Have a great day, guys. Peace.